The calm before the storm? The vice presidential debate was a snoozer for some, but the body language on display was fascinating and reveals just how close this race is, according to one expert. The two 2024 presidential debates, Donald Trump versus Joe Biden, then Trump versus Kamala Harris, were politically momentous.
We finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden.
Biden's performance was so disastrous that senior Democrats began to call for him to drop out of the race amid dire approval ratings, and he finally did on July 21st. Vice President Harris emerged as the replacement Democratic nominee and enjoyed a bump in the polls that closed the gap between her and her opponent. The first, and maybe final, presidential debate between Harris and Trump took place on September 10th. In the days that followed, opinion polls showed Harris had gained a narrow lead over Trump. Today, the race for the Oval Office is neck and neck, with both Democrats and Republicans looking to score decisive wins to help move the needle in their favor. On October 1st, all eyes were on the vice presidential debate between Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, and Harris's pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. However, the event was underwhelming to many. One Guardian columnist called it a mostly civil encounter with no overwhelming winner. In the absence of killer lines, both social media users and analysts dug deeper to see what the body language of the two men had to say about the balance of power. And according to most, Vance had the better night. Tim Walz entered the vice presidential race at a moment of great excitement for the Democrats. People were relieved at the emergence of a presidential candidate who seemed to have a chance of beating Donald Trump and taking the Oval Office. And Walz seemed to relish the opportunity to take on Vance.
I can't wait to debate the guy.
But after being chosen as Harris's running mate, Walz reportedly admitted to the vice president that he was poor at debates. And by the time of the vice presidential debate on October 1st, many took to social media to note that his former confidence appeared to have deserted him. In a piece for The Conversation, body language expert Patrick Stewart said Walz attempted to settle his nerves with a so-called reward smile, which regulates negative emotions. But the governor nevertheless seemed unnerved by an opening question about war in the Middle East.
Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental.
Arguably, in one instance, Walz came across as dishonest. When pressed on a false claim he had made about being in Hong Kong in 1989 during the Tiananmen Square protests, he blushed visibly as he admitted that he misspoke.
I got there that summer and misspoke on this, so that's what I've said.
However, Stewart noted that though Walz may have been caught bending the truth, blushing involuntarily may in fact have the effect of making him appear more honest and genuine to audiences. Though J.D. Vance has achieved a great deal despite a horrific upbringing and is a popular running mate among much of Donald Trump's MAGA base, he hasn't had an easy vice presidential campaign so far. The attack line put forward by the Democrats, that the Republicans, and Vance in particular, are weird, has proven to be effective as viral messaging. His image has also been tarnished by his misstep in deriding childless cat ladies,
who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made,
which drew the ire of none other than pop superstar Taylor Swift. At times, even Republicans have worried that Vance's name on the Trump ticket could do the campaign more harm than good. But Vance's performance in the vice presidential debate has drawn a certain amount of praise, with even the left-leaning Guardian admitting that the Ohioan had taken the upper hand. Analyst Ben Davis wrote, "Vance was nimble, if smarmy, showing his background as a debater and a lawyer." Davis added that Vance's cool allowed him to promote extremist policies in a way that made them, quote, sound almost moderate and reasonable. In his conversation piece, Stewart noted that Vance was considerably less expressive and appeared calm throughout, giving little away in terms of nerves and appearing to be the more settled of the two men. Stewart highlighted that the few times Vance was expressive, he was smiling, indicating that he was pleased with himself for his performance. However, Stewart also claimed that this lack of expressiveness could prevent voters from connecting with him as a public figure.